Okay, calling to order the Hanson Board of Health meeting, June 2nd. It is now 4:03 p.m. And is everybody in attendance?
Yes.
Yes,
Lisa,
Kevin's here.
Gil, Kevin,
Yep.
Dennis?
Yep.
All right. Just had the agenda. First, graduation.
Yes. I sent everybody an email, I think it was last week, about the graduation. They want to have an actual graduation at the high school.
And it's outside, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't remember the email, but I knew that they wanted to do something outside. So I'm assuming the Board of Selectmen is allowing that.
That I don't know.
I remember you said
I don't know if they
sent us-
voted on it yet. It might be on their next agenda.
Oh, you know what? I have the last agenda.
Of the next agenda.
It was on the agenda, May 26th,
Well,
request for graduation ceremony.
oh, okay.
I have the agenda. I don't remember what they said, but it was on the agenda.
I think they okayed it.
I would think it was going to be outside, and they can social distance. And I guess there just was a question of whether or not friends and family could come, depending on the crowd sizes. But like I said, I don't remember exactly.
I believe I watched the meeting, and I think it was the superintendent got up and explained all the precautions they were going to take, and
I just sent the email out again.
What's that? Oh, okay.
I sent the email out again if anybody wants to read it.
That was a letter?
It's from the principal of the high school.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, it was either the principal or the superintendent that appeared at the selectmen meeting, and explained all the precautions they were going to take, and it seemed to satisfy the selectmen, if I recall.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember them saying no, so and it seemed like they had a plan that would keep them apart, but still allow them to have their graduation together. So I'm not sure if we put it on just because we had gotten that letter. I don't know that there's anything that we need to do.
Okay. They were looking for guidance, so no. John, the town administrator sent it to the Board of Health, the fire department, fire chief, and the police chief.
Wanting feedback.
Yes.
And I think I answered. Let me just. Kevin, did you respond to that message?
Yeah, I had sent Teresa an email just responding back to it after I received it. I read it. I didn't see any problem with it as long as meeting all the guidelines put in place, and that there was no gathering after the fact, that hopefully everyone is kind of dispersed after that.
Okay. And Dennis, did you have a response?
I didn't respond because it said, only if you had, if you're opposed to it. But again, if you watch the tape of the selectmen meeting, whoever gave that presentation went down a whole list of precautions they were going to take. So
Okay.
maybe you might refer to that, if you have any questions.
Yeah, I didn't have concerns because I knew that they were going to be spacing the kids out. So I think it's not something that we're going to need to worry about.
Yeah, I think they actually had other precautions they were taking that they didn't even have to, and they were going above the bar.
Right, and making sure, being extra careful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we can move on to Cranberry Cove. Gil, did you have an opportunity to meet with Billy?
Yes, we sent everybody an email on the meeting we had, and I went over.
When?
Pardon?
You said you sent an email?
Yes,
Was that yesterday?
this morning. Everybody got an email this morning. I met with him this morning.
Okay. Go ahead.
I met with him this morning, went over all the guidelines, concerning beaches and camps and restrooms and everything, and it really does not make sense opening the place up. Number one, the cove is completely fenced in, which makes it a confined space. So only allowing 10 people, that's including lifeguards and everything else that could happen there. If anybody decides to sit on the beach or put a blanket down or sunbathing, automatically it increases the social distancing to 12 feet. So they're very limited there. That was one of the main things. The bathrooms another thing, plus hand sanitizer, wipes. It doesn't make it feasible. If they do classes, people that go in the water have to be 12 feet. It doesn't make any common sense to open it up because you're going to have problems. You get 10 people on the beach, and they make appointments for the next 10 people. The 10 people on the beach will now want to stay a little bit longer. The other 10 people are going to be sitting in their cars waiting. I don't think it's going to work out whatsoever. So you get all the criteria of what it takes to open it up to only 10 people.
But it's their decision as long as they can maintain. If they can maintain the distance, the social distancing, it's up to them whether or not they want to open. It's not because the only concern we would have is them maintaining and following the guidelines. Is that correct?
I mean,
All right.
the selectmen can say open it up, but I think it would be very unwise to do that.
How would you
Yeah, but
decide the 10 people?
Well, you could, if you set up a system where people are there for 1 hour, you clear the beach, and then the next group comes in. It's not like it's impossible to do, but it's up to them to decide what they want to do. And they had a meeting, but it hadn't been received at cable, so it's not posted yet. So I don't know what kind of discussion they had about whether they really wanted to open the cove or didn't want to open the cove, because that recording is not available yet. So I wondered what Billy had to say about it.
Before they can open, we're going to need a plan for how they're going to reopen, correct?
Right. Yes, they have to make a plan of how they're going to do it.
So I guess we'll have to wait to hear from them on a proposed plan on how they can achieve the requirements.
Yeah, the state requires them to have a written plan.
Right.
So did Billy say anything about that, Gil?
No, he didn't know anything about it. I gave him a copy of the plan that he's supposed to use for reopening. I gave him a copy of the restroom regulations, the five different that came down from the state that pertain to that whole area. And, I explained it to him. He's going to go study them. There's like 5 different things between the cove, the restrooms, the camp area, and what is allowed as far as what pertains to that whole area. He now has that because they're talking other things. They're talking to driving. They're talking walking. All these things have to be taken into consideration before they even think about trying to do something. And I explained to him also the consequences, what will take place. If there's a problem, what will happen? And if there's a problem, if something dramatically happens, the town will take responsibility of it. So really being cautious of how they go about doing it.
All right. And they are going before the Board of Selectmen, I believe, next week at the Board of Selectmen meeting.
Right.
I don't know what their plan is going to be. All right. The fun part, the budget.
Orders and everything I've given him, I do not perceive that place opening up.
It's their decision. It's not our decision. If they can't follow it, then they can't open. But it's not our decision whether or not they open.
You have to open up under those guidelines.
Everybody done moving their papers? We'll move on to the budget. And did everybody get a copy of the budget? I'm assuming they did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do we start? So, Teresa, would you say most lines are in the negative? Some. Just some.
Some of them, but there's money, in maybe a PO that I don't use the whole PO amount.
Yep.
Or in the enterprise fund to cover it, but we won't have that until the end of the year. Because you can see that the
June 30th.
available object is 23,880. That's the hang on.
Some of mine got cut off when I printed it.
That's under disposal services, which is money from the enterprise fund.
When you say end of year, you mean June 30th, fiscal year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So it'll probably be, they haven't sent out, accounting hasn't sent out what the deadlines are going to be yet. That should be coming soon. So it's probably going to be maybe the first or second week. It's probably going to be like the 9th of July. Everything has to be in. And then after that, we'll know what's left over or whatever.
Yeah, if there's anything left over. And probably disposal service is going to be our highest cost. Did we do the application for the container?
No, not yet. I've been working on the other grant. That I'm going to do that probably tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
The other one's almost done.
The other report?
No, the other grant, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And we're talking about grant money that we can apply for through DEP. Certain categories you get a certain amount of points for, and for each point, I believe in Hanson it's either worth $600 or $650. So, can't remember what we were up to. If we were up to like 600.
We have 19 points right now.
Okay. Did you need? I thought the transfer station thing says Big Hearted Books, but I believe they went out. And
no, yeah, I found out who it was after I sent you the email. It is Discovery Books. And
okay.
I talked to the gentleman.
Okay. All right. And did you get the information that you needed? What was the other question you asked me?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I got the answers to everything. There wasn't anything for
the compost. It was compost. You asked if we had done any public notifications, training.
Yeah, and we haven't. So because they asked
let me check with Claire because they did PSAs on WATD.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I could use that. I could use that.
Yes, and so let me check and see which one she covered. And I thought about that after I had sent you that email, that we just recently did them. So I'm not sure. So
yeah, any PSAs that they've let me know, and I could just plug it in because I'll probably submit it tomorrow or Thursday.
All right. I'll check with them.
Okay.
So we're really not going to know what exactly where we're going to be in terms of this budget, but have we planned to keep the numbers the same for fiscal 2021?
Well, the disposal budget will change because we're not going to be under contract with ABC. So those are kind of up in the air, but I submitted the budget months ago. Like, I don't even remember, maybe January?
Oh. But we know that the amount's not going to go down.
No, nothing is going to go down.
Nothing's going down.
Wishful thinking. It would be nice if it would, but no, that's not going to happen.
I know that.
Yeah, it's going to be significantly more. I'm not sure how much more.
In what areas could we cut costs? Probably none.
None. I don't know where you would cut costs. Turn the lights off, sooner, to save on electricity, there really isn't anything.
Anything.
No. I think they could make sure that the compactors are more full. That could save some money.
Yep.
And Gil and I had a conversation about that yesterday. But, I mean, all the other costs, they kind of are what they are, you know?
Right. And you can't, there's no way to get around it.
No. Nope. No, if anybody has any suggestions, we're always open to suggestions.
Yeah, so we'll have to revisit this for next month when we have a better idea. So when is town meeting going to be in July?
July 20th.
So we'll be able to ask for whatever we need at that point. Not that we're going to get it, but we'll at least know a number.
Yeah, if we need to, we can. But I'm not overly concerned about that. I just like to keep you guys in the loop.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about the budget? Kevin, do you?
No, I don't have any questions about it. Like you said, it doesn't look like we can really tighten anything up. There's not a lot of excess expenditures here that I see. You know, it's just all the necessities. So.
Okay, Dennis?
No,
any
not
more questions on the budget?
no questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay. It looks like everything on our list today we really don't have a lot of information on. Next thing is a public health nurse. I've reached out to a couple people to get job descriptions. I haven't had anybody get back to me yet, but I know of at least 4 towns that are looking for a public health nurse. Teresa, did you get the information from East Bridgewater?
No, I haven't had any time to do that.
Okay.
I've talked to the admin over there several times. They have a public health nurse, but she only comes in every now and again. I know Abington's looking for one. Whitman is working on a job description right now. Halifax is looking for one. We need one.
Duxbury.
Duxbury, I don't know anything about Duxbury.
Yeah, they are. She's going to send me one.
So, we have to come up with a job description, which we can, look at other towns, because why recreate the wheel if we don't have to?
Right, and that's the thing is, like Duxbury, their nurse has been there so long, they don't have a job description. They're creating one.
Yeah.
I think Whitman hasn't had one in so long. But the thing is, we need to get this done soon because our contract is up on the 30th. Because then we also have to publish it. So we have to get something together by the end of this week, because doesn't it have to be published, and then doesn't it have to be posted for 2 weeks?
No, well, it's going to be a 1099 position.
Okay, but we're still going to need, well.
I'm sorry, say that again, you cut out.
No, I was going to say we're still going to need someone, but you and Gil both can do Maven. So the only thing that would be concerning is if we had a positive PPD, because you can't do that.
Right.
So I guess it's not, it's necessary, but it's not as urgent as it might be. So I guess we'll just have to hopefully be able by next month to have it and post it and interview people. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have any input?
No, like you said, we agreed that Teresa and Gil were going to handle the Maven. That's why we allowed the funds for the computers, remember, for the laptops.
Yeah. Oh, I knew that. Yep. Dennis?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. So we'll move on to septic plans. Did we see these plans at our last meeting?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I have 2. There's 519 Pleasant Street and 650 Whitman Street. 650 was a late addition, but I sent everything to everybody, so everybody should have everything they need.
I was trying to figure out where the heck that was.
Which?
It's hard to read the plan. It's hard to, the plans I think are it's really super difficult to like blow them up. The other stuff I think printed,
yeah.
but we see.
Is Pat on the call?
The receipt? Question mark.
I am here.
Okay, you are here. All right. Pat from PMP is on the line. He's the engineer for 650 Whitman Street. I don't believe Shane is on the call. Is Shane on?
It's the tracking number.
No. So if you wanted to do 650 first, because that engineer is not on the line.
Okay, let's do it. I'm trying to figure out where. Okay, I got it. I was just looking for the documents that you sent. I saw the email. I just didn't look at the documents. I don't think. Yesterday. So, Dennis and Kevin, have you guys had a chance to look at them, the plans?
Yeah, I looked it over. There was just a couple review notes just to add notes for filling in a dry well, abandoning a dry well, and existing cesspool. And it was just looking for I believe a groundwater reduction to 3 feet, and it was looking for a sieve analysis, I believe.
And was the deed restriction also added on that?
Yes, that was one of the notes.
Okay, so I looked at the notes. I just don't know. Yesterday, whenever she sent them, and I don't have them in front of me. But I did look at it and say it didn't say where the what was happening with the old system. So, does anyone have, Kevin? Do you have any questions?
No, Pat's on the line. If you want him to just run through it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's an existing 2-family, 4-bedroom dwelling on the corner of Whitman and Spring Street. We did the soil testing with Jim Donovan. It was too wet. We took a sieve. Sieve came back, sandy loam. So we designed a 4-bedroom system using R36 leaching chambers. And we're requesting the reduction to 3 feet to groundwater so we can maintain a gravity system. That way we don't have a pump chamber. And obviously we're asking for the local upgrade for the sieve analysis. Jim Donovan's review did point out, he just wanted Teresa mentioned the deed restriction note, so we've got that on the plan now. Jim Donovan asked us just to make sure we call out the existing cesspool and dry well to be abandoned, which we have done. So those were the only 2 comments on the design. Other than that, we're doing it on the northwest side of the property, which is relatively low compared to what's behind the house. So the green will blend into the hill behind the house, so it really won't look all that bad.
Okay. Dennis, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Kevin?
Nope, he's got his breakout barrier and everything. I don't have any questions.
Okay, and I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan for what's the address there? I'll make a motion to approve the plan for 640 Whitman Street. Deed restriction will 640, it says on the plan.
No, that's Walker's address.
Oh. I'll make a motion to approve the plan for 650 Whitman Street. It will require a deed restriction recorded.
I'll second that.
I'll do a roll call of those in favor. Kevin?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
And Arlene, yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Hey, it's Teresa. So the only things I need a notation on the plan for a deed restriction. And I also need a stamp. You didn't stamp the application and sign it.
Oh, you need Greg to stamp the application and sign it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just fill out a new one and get it to you, Teresa.
Okay, all right, awesome. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right. So we can go to 519 Pleasant.
I don't have that one.
I sent that a while ago.
Sent it. Yeah. She probably sent it out last week when she sent
I did. I sent it out when
It was May 28th was the email date.
thank you.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's gone.
I can send it again.
Okay.
There was no review comments on this one. It was just a sieve analysis.
Oh. Actually, I can't, hold on. Something's wrong with my computer. Hang on.
Sit on you.
Usual.
I think my email's down. Gil, do you have that email? Is your email down? 1 second. So I sent it on Thursday. I sent it in the afternoon, I know that.
Let me see if I can find it.
Edibles.
If I can find it, then I can send it to,
Mine says, I can't get into anything.
you sent it with the, agenda, right?
Yeah. Yep. So if anybody has it, if you can send it to Dennis, because I can't, my computer, my inbox is completely empty. Let me shut it and open it again.
With the agenda.
It's with the agenda.
Yeah, I
Okay.
sent it. Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Attachment.
I
Got
have
it?
it. I have it. I
Okay,
have it.
good.
519 Pleasant, right?
What, honey?
519 Pleasant, right?
Yes.
Very good.
Very straightforward.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, do you have any questions?
Didn't put it on the
No,
plan.
no. In the response from I think Shane had sent an email, if I remember reading it, or it was something maybe to Jim Donovan about they were going to attempt to do a perk test, I believe, at the time of install, so they could lift the deed restriction. Does that sound correct, Teresa?
I remember seeing something like that.
I'm trying to go through all my papers, because there's not a notation on the plan for a deed, for a variance. Well, it's just a sieve, so they wouldn't, it wouldn't be a deed restriction, but, hold on. They would be limited to what's currently in the house. Hang on. I don't see that. Where does it say that?
About the deed restriction?
Yeah, a note from Shane?
I could have swore I saw. Yes, I think I got it right here. Nope, that's not it. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I'm pretty sure I read that.
You may have.
Pretty sure it was.
Well, as of right now, it's a sieve, so I would just look at it that way. It's a 3-bedroom sieve, and if they do a perk at the time of installation and they don't need it anymore, even better.
Right. I believe that there was something. I'm looking through my emails now, but I believe there was something from Shane that they were going to attempt to do a perk test if they could at the time of install, just to lift the deed restriction. But
that seems familiar to me too, but I don't know why. Okay, so are we ready to take a vote?
I think so.
All right, then I need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the plans set forth for 519 Pleasant Street.
I'll second that. This is Kevin.
Yep, and I'll do a roll call. Kevin
Yes.
and Dennis
Yes.
and Arlene, yes. So Gil, do you have any updates?
We can go over a few things. We're up to like 35 orders from the governor and probably 15 or 20 guidelines issued by different departments from the Board of Department of Public Health. Day-to-day operations of very busy here. The phone rings quite a bit. So we've got quite a few plans going. We've got this week here, increasing probably four septic systems going so far this week. Things are very busy in the office. We have all these different guidelines that come down. They come in up until 10 o'clock every night. So we're very busy. The office is very busy and moving pretty fast along here with different things. Out there, we figure that as far as the COVID money, 75% of my time is out there, ensuring that people are in compliance in every area of the different business that they have. There are so many different types of guidelines that have to be adhered to, and it's the Board of Health's responsibility to ensure that everybody is following the guidelines, even to the point that hairdressers and barber shops, the Board of Health never really got.
Yes?
Hold on for 1 second. Can somebody mute their phone? They're moving papers or something. It's really hard to hear what Gil's saying. So if they could just mute their phone and so we could just hear what he's saying. I can hear a lot of papers being moved in the background. All right, there you go. I'm sorry.
All right. I thought you'd probably stop me. And, as far as, even hairdressers, barbershops, salons, we never got involved in that before. This all state we do, not actually do inspections, but doing compliance checks, making sure they're, doing what they're supposed to do as far as the orders that come down and guidelines. So we're doing that. And then there's, constant watching the different businesses, masks, the mask and whatnot. So with on these different calls that we read today, some towns are having issues requiring police to help the health agents, but that's not happening in Hanson. I think everything we've done has been pretty good. People have been pretty cooperative. We've had a few complaints issued that are being taken care of, but there's not that many of them. Only like 3 or 4 of them right now. But pretty much the town is compliant. We do have a few people that, that probably maybe less than 0.5% of people in that. But, all inspections are up to date as far as septic. Got a couple of abandoned houses looking at, and pretty much everything's pretty much on track the way we're supposed to be operating. I will say I think we're doing a lot better than most towns because we have septic systems installations open, we have perk tests open, so where other towns still haven't allowed perk tests or installations, a lot of towns have got that still shut off, but we're pretty much functioning 98% of what we've been doing before. So
Quick question on the compliance issues. You said you had 3 or 4, and are they related to COVID?
In a way, yeah. We have maybe 2 of them that aren't, but 2 are.
Okay.
So what happens with complaints and whatnot, I have to take a report, and then I report to an investigator, and we decide what we're going to do. Try to handle it locally. If it can't be handled locally, it goes to the investigator, and then if it can't be handled at his level, it goes above that.
Okay. And how many perks do we do in a week?
Hang on, I'll tell you.
Maybe with the answers.
This week we only have 1, but we have been having 3 or 4 a week. But I just got 2 more in, so next week we'll probably have 2. Week after that, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Gil, did you have any more, or were you off that?
I think we've been monitoring the transfer station because of the fact it is getting busier. It looks like we'll get the numbers yet, but it looks like the disposal amount is increasing. And that's why we're kind of watching what's going on there as far as the capacity of the containers, trying to get the capacity up more instead of trying to get them up to a livable amount.
How can they tell when they're full?
they can tell they're full by the pressure of the compactor. How much pressure
Okay.
the compactor, so.
All right. And I have a question about the transfer station. For July holiday, are they observing it on the 3rd or the 4th?
That would be the 4th.
Okay, because Town Hall would have the 3rd or no?
I don't know. They haven't made that. I should ask John about that.
Yeah, because usually
they would
if it's
observe
on
it
Saturday,
on
you get
4th.
Friday.
They would observe it on the 4th because that's a standard working day for them.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and the contract doesn't say they get the 3rd and the 4th. It says they get the 4th.
All right. Because generally, like I said, if it's on a Saturday, people get Friday off. If it's on a Sunday, they get Monday. And I just wanted to make sure we were not going to be closed a lot of days. And you can get a clarification from John. All right.
Yeah, no, it would be Saturday the 4th.
So we'll just make sure we get the information out to people in advance so that they won't complain that we weren't there.
Right.
Nobody's going to be anywhere on the 4th, I think, this year. All right. Anything else with the transfer station?
No, just a couple other things. In some of the compliance things, I've gone to like the church, Calvary Baptist Church. I was invited to go there just to look it over to see if they actually have, if they're actually in compliance with the guidelines in their plan and whatnot. Pastor there was very good. Spent a good half hour with him going over everything. St. Joseph's, they're probably going to open up in a couple of weeks. They haven't decided yet what they want to do. They've got their
Right.
plans. They do have the guidelines.
I did notice that the inspections weren't done on them, and I'm assuming it's because they haven't been open.
Oh, no, the churches have not been open, no.
No.
Calvary Baptist, as far as the masses go and the sermons and everything. So Calvary Baptist, all said, St. Joseph's going to start in a couple of weeks possibly. And the Blueberry Farm, going through everything with the USDA, Department of Agriculture, for them, and all the guidelines set forth by the governor and the, I'm forgetting the name of the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. That's the office that handles all the guidelines that take place in the farmers markets and everything else, like the beaches, everything that comes out as far as guidelines is handled by the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. So we've got, developed some good relationships, a couple of gyms, talk to them, but, things are going through. Like I said, the office is operating phenomenally here. I mean, the calls are coming in. I don't know what I'd do without Teresa. I think the drills are working very well here and getting a lot of things accomplished. That's about it.
Was there anything else?
That, I would say, is close to it. I mean, the biggest thing is the guidelines and, keeping track of things. So.
Right, and the guidelines, and all the nuances within the guidelines, and all the questions they ask that are just outside the guidelines. Now, do we know if the camps in Hanson are planning on opening?
Really haven't heard. The guidelines aren't allowing a lot of this stuff to happen.
Well, they were talking today, yeah.
They've got to come a long way here. As it stands right now, I don't see the 2 or 3 camps we do have opening.
Nobody's contacted us.
Oh, okay.
Or filed a permit request.
Huh? I'm sorry?
Or filed a camp permit request.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of them might decide that it's not worth opening this year.
Right,
Because it would be so reduced. One on the call. Gail, you were on the call today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, and so how do you move 500 kids to the camp and you can't put them on a bus?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And they probably they're in a city. They don't have transportation. Yeah. Is that Gil?
Especially when the campus capacity is 1,200.
Right.
So that's a difficult. But I think we're doing good here. All calls are being answered. Everybody's being responded to. All inspections are done in a timely manner. And I think we're doing all right here. We're fortunate. We don't have the complications of other towns having, the congregated living, the elderly home.
Well, right. Because we don't have the businesses either, a lot of them. Of course, many. All right, well, if there's nothing else, on the agenda. Teresa, you didn't have anything else?
No, nothing,
Okay.
thankfully.
Okay, then I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that. This is Kevin.
Okay, all in, roll call vote. Dennis,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and Arlene, yes. Meeting is ending at 4:43.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you
You
very
too.
much.
Bye, thank you.